what he meant.
By the way, that was this year. It wasn't last year.
Yes.
It wasn't back in 2007. It was actually this year. 3 games.
Yes.
So that counts toward his overall ranking. He's dropped to middle of the pack since then. But that coincides with numerous miscommunications and inconsistency from a subpar supporting cast in New England. Subpar.
You see what they did?
They didn't do anything. They just spat a fact at you.
What about the quarterback is 42 and his legs and his ability to get out of harm's way?
Shannon Sharp, where do the New England Patriots rank in rushing? Can you say 24th? 24th in the league in rushing. Help me out. The New England tight ends as a group, there are 3 of them who have caught balls, but not very many. Okay. Where do they rank in catches as a whole group in the whole league among tight ends? Dead last.
Yeah.
Dead last. The whole group has caught a grand total of 1 touchdown pass. Yeah. The whole group. Yeah. So you went from, arguably, you might have a say in this, but arguably the greatest tight end in the history of the league, Rob Gronkowski. You went to a 3-headed lack of monster tight end group who is dead last in receptions. How can you function? How can you survive? How can you be all of a sudden? How do you get to be?
Okay, your point is duly noted. But why was everybody beating me up when I said Rob Gronkowski makes Tom Brady's job a lot easier? When Tom Brady won Super Bowls without Gronk. Now you begging for him to come out. You're trying to coax him out of retirement. But you see, Skip, what happens is that as we start to age, our ability to do things and make everybody else around us better starts to dissipate. So what they've done is they've made it all about the receivers. They don't want to admit Tom Brady is aging just like that Nat Geo when they do that film lapse and that flower they plant the seed and all of a sudden over time lapse it starts to grow and it starts to bloom right before our eyes.
He's blooming.
Tom Brady is getting older and older.
Right before us,
he's getting older and older.
It's a new
No.
You know, every December he just blooms.
New era.
But let me ask you this, Skip. You talk about where they're rushing. Not one time did they mention anything about Sonny Michel last year. They talk about, did you see that comeback to Tom Brady? 3 3rd and 10. You didn't mention Sonny Michel. Had 3 touchdowns and he went over 100 yards. You didn't mention that. But now Tom Brady is struggling because of age. And I tell people, Skip, the thing that starts to go as you age as an athlete is not the part that you use the most. Tom Brady's his shoulder. It's his legs. His legs. His legs is not the same. Now, you could dress it up all you...
He's never had any legs. What are you talking about? Seriously? Do you remember the 40 he ran at the combine?
Skip, I'm talking about
his legs?
No, I'm not saying, Skip, I'm not talking about his running. I'm talking about his ability to drive the ball consistently. Yes, great players, Skip. We always were great. And we can have that one game or that a few games or a few throws. But I'm talking about...
Are you saying he lost arm strength? Because I'd show you rockets. He's still throwing rockets.
Yeah.
They don't lose arm strength.
Skip,
Brett Favre can still throw rockets.
But Brett didn't have any legs. It's the legs. You don't throw with your arms, Skip. You throw with the... Why you think... What is Dak doing? When Dak is doing that viral video, what's he doing?
Where did he learn that?
Skip.
From my friend Tom House right here at USC in L.A., where Tom Brady goes every off season.
But what do you have to, Skip, in order to...
He is Tom House's #1 client.
I get that, Skip. But it's not about his leg because Dak is not doing this. He's doing that with his hips.
So is everybody.
It's his leg, Skip. But everybody isn't 42. That's my point.
Boy, he's throwing the ball just as well as he's ever thrown it. Unfortunately, the bulk of his targets have gone to little Julian Edelman and little James White. Go look at the targets. Way #1 and #2.
Are they the same targets that was started when he was at the top in the first 3 weeks? Was the target still going to James White and Julian Edelman?
No, there was Antonio Brown had a whole game of targets, and Josh Gordon got a whole bunch of targets.
Antonio Brown caught 5 passes. He caught 5 passes. You see, what you failed to tell the people, you said Tom Brady going into the last week was #1 in completions. But you didn't tell him he was #1 in pass attempts. That's like James Harden. James Harden has made more free throws than anybody in the NBA this year. He also has attempted more.
Yeah, but he's making 88%. That's a bad analogy.
Skip, no, Skip. Think about this. He has the most completions, but he's 29th in completion percentage. What kind of analysis is that?
Well, it's 10-2. Somehow they're 10-2. I don't know. The quarterback has some say.
Skip, how much does the Grand Marshal have to do with the parade? Because that's what Tom Brady is. When he's been asked to win a game, what has he done?
Boy, he almost won one.
No,
on
Skip,
Sunday
I don't
night.
do no. I took that off my menu. I took QBR. I took almost because people and excuses because people couldn't coming in there. It's like, oh, do I take QBR today?
Well,
Do
you
I
sure
take
have been
Q? Do I
using.
take- No.
You sure have been throwing QBR at me this week.
No.
That's all I hear is QBR.
Because you love that stat. You love it, but yet when we talk about Tom Brady, you won't mention that he's 19. You love completion percentage until Tom Brady's 19 until he's 26.
Let's move on to your
29.
favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Send it.
Yes, he
Greatest
is.
thrower in
Yes,
football
he
ever.
is. Yes, indeed.
In the last month, he had two of the most horrendous games of his career.
Okay.
Just horrendous, like embarrassment
Yeah.
games at San Francisco and at LA Chargers.
Happen.
Yeah. He has now fallen, according to Pro Football Focus, to 27th in pro football in positively graded throws. That's horrendously bad. It's over for Aaron Rodgers. He's a shell of what he used to be.
Hold on, let me get this on. So let me get this straight. Aaron Rodgers is a shell of himself.
What he used to be, or at least what you used to think he was.
What is Tom Brady then? I got his 18-6.
Well, that guy just won the Super Bowl. Last one I
You
saw,
see
Tom
what,
Brady
hold
won
on.
it.
You see what he did, Jenny? He won the Super Bowl. He didn't mention the MVP, Julian Edelman. He didn't mention Gronk. He didn't mention Sonny Michel and that running attack that led the league in
I
rushes.
told you Tom Brady should have been the MVP
No,
of the
Tom,
Super Bowl.
stop it.
He
with
led
with a 26 QBR?
Did he lead the one scoring drive?
One scoring
Going
drive.
5 for
Skip,
5?
Skip,
Yeah.
you're making my point. Jenny, what did I tell him? I said, you can have a drive here and there, but consistency
Real
throughout the
quick
course of the
points on
game.
your man, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
He now
boy.
goes to Tom Brady on Sunday. His negatively graded throws have increased by 5.2%. That's the highest increase in the league this year.
How do we know they're negative? How do we know?
They graded him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll trust him.
You see what they did?
Yeah.
Now, see, when we want to paint the quarterback that fault, we say negative throws. But see, with Tom Brady, we're going to make it about communication with the receivers. You see what he did there, Jenny? I can do it any kind of way you want to, Skip.
Do you have any idea how bad Patrick Mahomes would look if you gave him only Julian Edelman and James White as his two quote-unquote weapons behind a shaky offensive line that's even been shakier than his?
Do you know how bad Tom Brady would look if he had to play behind that Kansas City's defense?
Do you know what?
Do you know?
Do you realize what what Tom Brady would do with Kansas City's weapons? Because everywhere I look, there are nothing but weapons.
Do you know?
My God.
Skip.
Brady has 1/100th of the weapons that Mahomes has.
Think
1/100.
about this. In the losses that he had last year, my homeboy's defense was giving up over 37 points a game. The man scored 45, they give up 40. They give up 55. The man scored 40, they give up 43.
Think about this. Tom Brady's only weapon is a little white guy who played quarterback at Kent State.
Skip.
What?
Skip.
That's it. That's all he's got left.
Think about it.
That's all, Skip.
No,
You're saying he's washed.
No, Skip. Skip.
Yeah.
When you evaluate a player, you don't project out. I'm talking about this. When I'm evaluating these guys, I'm not talking about what they're doing because I can't do anything about that. Nobody can do anything about that. And we can't predict the future. We can think, we can try. But you looking at Tom Brady, nobody, Skip, nobody in their right mind thinks Tom Brady has outplayed my homeboy and Aaron Rodgers.
I do.
You ain't
It's
in your
right
right mind. That's what I said.
It's right
Nobody.
here. Mahomes remains one of the most electric passers in the NFL, Pro Football Focus concludes, but his overall efficiency has taken a step back since last season.
Skip, but listen,
And don't get me started on Carson Wentz,
Skip.
who's down here at 12.
Yeah.
Skip,
They blast.
Hanging on at 12.
Skip, let this sink in. There's only been two players in the history of the game that's thrown for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in the same season. And he was slightly on that pace before he got injured. How does a guy play two and a half games fewer but have more touchdowns than Tom Brady if he's that guy?
Did you see Tom Brady in the second half at Houston Sunday night? He
Skip,
put on a show.
Skip,
See, you'd already closed your book. You said, I got him.
Skip.
Off the first half. He
Skip.
looked horrible. I got him. Wait a second. He's still throwing. What did he throw for, 352? God.
Skip, he threw for 326, but that's neither here nor there. How many of those came when the game was nip and tuck? He had what? 187?
Brandon Bolden got his hands on the onside kick, or Brady might have pulled off another miracle down there in that
I
state.
know what he pulled off.
Yeah.
You saw where he looked.
Yeah.
What did Colin Worth say about those throwaways that Tom Brady? They're starting to go up. What did he say, Skip? What did he say about the throwaways?
Well, he says, boy, he's got no weapons.
Oh,
He's got
no
nobody
weapon.
can separate.
No weapon.
No separation.
Now he gets no separation. You see? No.
Well, help me out. I keep telling you.
Skip, these were the same guys that he threw to last year, minus Gronk.
They drafted N'Keal Harry in the first round. He's caught 4 balls for a grand total of 28 yards.
He's been hurt.
Okay, that's it.
What you want him to do?
Okay. Well, no weapons.
This was the same guy that threw to Deion Branch and David Gibbons and Troy Brown. All those guys. Jermaine Wiggins was his tight end. He won a Super Bowl with Jermaine Wiggins.
Boy, he could use Deion Branch right now.
Yeah. No, he couldn't.
Yes, he could.
No, he couldn't.
Give me Deion Branch in his prime, and you'd start seeing some 400 yards.
Sam, all I'm saying is just evaluate it, not what he's done, on what you see right now. And you see a player that's a shell of himself.
QB debates.
Shell of himself.
They always get everything going around
Well,
here.
you are going to eat some big
riled
words.
up.
You're going to eat you some shellfish.
Skip, but see, I think we're going to talk about this a little later. No. I didn't say they couldn't win because Peyton Manning. Was Peyton Manning a shell of himself? Peyton Manning could have a game. Remember in Kansas City on Monday night? He went for over 300. They was down 14. He brought them back. You remember the throws that he had against New England in the AFC Championship game? Come on now, Skip. Come with me.
What are you talking about? Peyton Manning, I said, I was the first one to say, Indy is making the biggest mistake they'll ever make. That owner is making a huge mistake. And Peyton should have won 2 MVPs.
I'm talking about in his last year.
All right.
Skip.
He hit the wall. Tom hasn't hit the wall.
Skip, he's not going to get it better. He ain't getting better at 43. He's not getting better at 44. So you can get that out your head, Skip. Father time. You know what? Father time, there's 2 times that you don't mess with.
You know what, Shannon?
Father time and borrowed time. When they come due, they come due.
One of these years you're going to be right about
I'm
Tom
right
Brady,
this year.
'cause you've
One
been-
of these years.
I'm right this
you
year.
missed the last 3 years,
Aaron
so
Rodgers,
here we go.
He had a birthday too the
Jenny,
other day, so
what times you don't mess with? Father time and borrowed time. When they come due, Skip, you got to go.
we're out of time on
Tom
the QBs
overtime.
for now. We're going to go back to chatting about the Lakers or Clippers. Who looks better so far? Chris Broussard joins us. Let's hear what he has to say next.